You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. It's here. Real football. No more practice talk. We're going to talk about preseason game number 1 for the Cincinnati Bengals as they will welcome the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to Paycor Stadium on Saturday night. Dave Lapham will be there. And this is the time of year things start heating up. We've been talking practices for the last couple weeks, but now we get to talk about some real football. What are some of the key things that you're going to be watching for in this preseason game?
Well, I mean, first of all, want to see a clean game, both mentally and physically. Mentally avoid mistakes. If you make a mistake, avoid repeating it, and no penalties or few penalties. And that's the thing that's been impressive at training camp, Dave. Very, very few, early movement, mental errors in that regard. It has been pretty sound in that regard. And then physically, your technique, you want that to be as perfect as it possibly can. And then physically, you want to avoid injury, and that's first and foremost. But looking forward to see Mims in live action against unfamiliar opponents that have new moves, different strengths and weaknesses that are unknown to him. But watching his technique, if he applies his technique with his God-given gifts of size and movement skills and athletic ability, I'm very, very anxious and excited to see him, playing live action. And then the interior of the offensive line with that second group, Jackson Kirkland. He's long and strong. He's got a chance to ascend. He's had a nice camp to date. I mean, is it going to translate to preseason games? Some guys, look like Tarzan in practice and play like Jane in games. I don't anticipate that to be the case with him. Matt Lee, the 7th round draft pick. This is, 2 guys were drafted in the offensive line. Mims in the 1st round and Matt Lee was drafted in the 7th round. He's been stout against backups now, big time. Maybe test him against a little bit better talent. See what you got there. You're competing with Trey Hill at the center position. The second group of wide receivers, I'm sure you're not going to see very much of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins at all. In fact, they didn't practice at Thursday's practice, the last practice before the game. So you wonder how many snaps those guys are going to take. The day before, T. Higgins dominated, though. I mean, dominated that practice. That was the salty practice. He rose to the occasion, to say the least. But Charlie Jones, wanted to see, he needs reps. I wanted to see him taking those reps. Now that he got nicked up a little bit at practice yesterday, how much will he play? I don't think he will. Jermaine Burton, Shedrick Jackson, Kendrick Pryor, Kwame Lassiter, big game for these guys. Wanted to see if Jones is going to be steadier on a snap-by-snap basis. When Burton's dynamic, wanted to see if he's dynamic in ways that specifically translate to the Bengals offense. That's a big deal. Yoshi, is he as good as he's looked in camp? Compete against different colored jerseys and start to see. The tight end group, Eric All, 9 months in rehabilitation process with that knee. How much is he going to be able to do? I have a feeling Tanner Hudson, when he gets in the game, the dude's going to make plays. He always does. He's used to competing and proving himself all over again on a year-by-year basis. That's just how his career's gone. I'm interested to watch that. The 5th linebacker spot, if they keep 5, with the new kickoff rule, it might make it a necessity. But that 5th linebacker, he's got to be better than the last tight end, the last safety, the last cornerback, the last running back. Just like Darren Simmons has to make those decisions, every single year. And that means like Aaron Casey, Muma Jungmeta, Shaka Hayward, special teams guys. It's going to be big snaps for those linebackers. Okay, who's going to take the snaps that Cam Sample is leaving out there, unfortunately, because of his Achilles injury? Will it be Cedric Johnson, the rookie? Watch this kid, number 52. Is he going to step up to fill Cam Sample's role? He's got the athletic ability to do it. I think Osai and Murphy will get a ton of snaps, a lot of snaps. But, Cedric Johnson and Jeff Gunner, maybe, Gunner's battling a little bit of tendonitis in the knees. He's got some issues he's dealing with, but he's going to be in that mix as well. Zach Carter, the interior defensive tackles, had a good camp. He's bigger and stronger. He's competing. Chris Jenkins Jr., the rookie, he's very good, man. He's a hell of an inside player. He's got long arms, plays with great strength and leverage. Excited to see him go against a different colored jersey. So in the secondary, the young guys, Josh Newton and Dejon Anthony, 2 tough old school football players, Dave. They would have been able to play in any era. and then watching P.J. Jules, Lance Robinson, Michael Dowell, other young guys in the secondary. They get to show their stuff. I mean, it's going to be a big night. First time against different color jerseys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This entire rookie class, draft picks and free agents, they have an edge to them. They play physical, high-energy football, and it has definitely shown up on the practice field. Will it translate to the game on Saturday? I most definitely think it will. It's going to be interesting to watch. Now the battles start, and they're going to rage on because it's important to everybody. You want to fulfill your dream and be on an NFL roster when that final cutdown occurs and the process starts against the Buccaneers on Saturday.
You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. If you're looking for a career change, make sure to visit firststarlogistics.com for career openings. One of the fastest growing companies in Cincinnati and a great atmosphere to work in. And Lapham, let me ask you this. Todd Bowles, he's got 2 years down. This is year 3 for him as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last season, 9-8. They basically become the NFC South divisional champs. They make the playoffs, go 1-1 in the playoffs. This should be a good test. It's preseason. As you said, we're not going to see a lot of Joe Burrow and the first team offense, first team defense, but this should be a good test against a team that is a playoff caliber team.
Yeah, they've won their division 3 straight years. They have dominated the NFC South. And, they've got 7 players that are Pro Bowlers and 7 players that are first-round draft picks. And 4 of those 7 are both, first-round draft picks that have panned out, not necessarily all drafted by Tampa Bay. For example, Baker Mayfield, he was the first pick of the draft and was not by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he made the Pro Bowl last year, and we're not going to see a whole lot of him. We'll probably see as much of him as we see of Joe Burrow, may even see less of him than we see of Joe Burrow. Todd Bowles may decide to sit all of his veteran players, but yeah, I mean, this is a good football team. They're well put together. Todd Bowles is his own defensive coordinator, and he's outstanding. He's excellent. Liam Cohen is the offensive coordinator, and Tom Agaki is the special teams coach, and it's going to be a good evaluation against their kicking game. Darren Simmons to evaluate his return guys, Camarda and McLaughlin. Camarda the punter and McLaughlin the place kicker, 2 of the best in the National Football League. I mean, these guys are outstanding. So there's a lot of reasons that this is a good football team to go up against. And they got guys like Tristan Wirfs at left tackle, the highest paid offensive lineman in the National Football League. Tampa Bay thought that highly of him. At every position, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a dominant player, Vita Vea, at the nose tackle position. Levante David, this guy is a tackling machine. He's led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it seems like, every year, and he's got double-digit seasons on his resume. Antoine Winfield Jr. At safety, an outstanding football player. And a lot of these guys obviously aren't going to get a whole lot of snaps. Mike Evans at wide receiver. All he's done is for 10 straight years accumulated over 1,000 yards receiving. Has gone to 5 Pro Bowls. I mean, man, they got players, and they're well coached. So, like you said, Dave, it'll be a good test. I think that's the case in the entire preseason. I think the Bengals are in a pretty good situation in that regard. The next 2 preseason games are going to be preceded by those controlled workouts, and they're going to get a lot of good work in week 2 and week 3 after they play this Saturday game at 7:00 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You have been in the trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics. Do us a favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the videos that we put out, comment, especially on a one leading up to the first preseason game of the season. Be interested to see what is on your mind, fans of the Cincinnati Bengals. And be sure to be with us after the game, as we'll get comments from Dave Lapham. And as we do after almost every game, I think for the last couple of years, we've done these calls after games, no matter home or away. And I always appreciate Dave taking the time, because I know it's hectic, especially on road games, to get these done. But we do appreciate him taking the time to bring his thoughts, especially right after a game. Lap, Looking forward to you on the call with Dan Horde and on the First Star Logistics Bengals Radio Network. And we'll talk to you after the Bengals come out with a preseason game win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'll tell you, I'll take the victory, and injury-free victory would be even better.
Everybody, Who Day.
Who Day.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.